Recently, there's been this picture circulating on Twitter that got 12 million views. It's from another typical westernized French creep saying, "What is that thing?" And within a matter of minutes, she got comments like, "Isn't that banned in France? Is it in Afghanistan?" We bet she listens to the Quran over and over. How does she even function like this? Or if these women do this out of their own free will, they need to be taken to a psychiatrist. They also call her names like cyborg or dementor. Now, even though I'm a Muslim man, I was still under the impression that it's 2024, that the West is so empowered and progressive that a woman should at least be able to wear what she wants to wear and has a degree of autonomy over her own body. I thought that women can dress however they want to dress and we cannot judge them. Especially because when Kim K pulled up to the Met Gala looking like this, or Kanye wore this outfit, nobody said anything. But it seems to me that freedom of choice has parameters, and your freedom is only until you start behaving the way that they don't want you to behave. I'm not surprised because almost 100 years ago, Frantz Fanon, a psychiatrist from the French-occupied island of Martinique, said, "This woman who sees without being seen frustrates the colonizer." It was a colonialist frenzy to unveil the Muslim woman. In this battle, the occupier was bent on unveiling because there is in it the will to bring this woman within his reach to make her a possible object of possession. Subhanallah. What absolutely boggles my mind too are the comments claiming to know Islam better than us Muslims. She wore it on her free will. Have you seen or been in a religious family? Because there is no such a thing as choice. There is absolutely no other options to be chosen. Forcing hijab to a 9-year-old child is definitely not a choice. No. We hate it when women dehumanize themselves. Eyes aren't intimate parts. Their sole purpose is to enable you to see the world. This is brain rot. Some idiotic Muslims have turned Islam into a joke. Islam never asks a woman to wrap up herself like some Egyptian mummy. Today I'm going to be going over the hypocrisy of the West and what Islam actually says about hijab. I'm even going to expose the deep history of France and their inventions of things like bikini and the entire makeup/consumerist industries as well. And to wrap up this video, I'm also going to give my final message to this Muslim sister in the video, inshallah, that was in this picture. Timestamps are going to be in the description box as always, but trust me when I say this, you're going to want to watch this segment by segment. Make sure you got your snacks because Ramadan is over. So a late Eid Mubarak, and without further ado, let's dive into the video. Now, before I go into hijab and what Islam actually expects of women and why it does so, I'm going to discuss the hypocrisy of the West. The progressive, forward-thinking West operates off of the idea that human beings have independence and free will, therefore we should do only what gives us pleasure and maximum satisfaction in life and nothing else. And they're so insistent upon this idea that they've colonized the entire world, call it the white man's burden, to essentially go to other countries, tell them that they don't know how to live their life and that they need to be taught how to live their life based on them. It's no surprise because when I was Googling the time zone in France, just to see if they started daylight savings or not, because FaiyadFit clients are international, obviously, it showed 12 time zones. Fellas, 12. And that's 13 if you consider the part that they claimed in Antarctica. These boys invaded everything from the east to the west, and they won't stop now because even though they've won all these physical battles, the ideological battle is still to be won right now, and that's what they're combating with the Muslims. They claim a woman's role is to be strong and independent, which we still can't seem to figure out what she needs independence from, but just to resist all forms of suppressing herself. This is especially observed and evident in their push to allow non-Muslim women to dress however they want to dress, but not to let Muslim women dress how they want to dress. They absolutely start clenching at the idea of Muslim women holding on to their religion strongly, which is why they have things like the hijab ban, burqa ban, and the abaya ban. Although they can ban a physical dress, they cannot ban an idea from the hearts and minds of the people. They believe that for a woman to remove all of her clothing and show her entire body off, that is expression of individuality, independence, and freedom. Reducing her to a commodity for a few dollars per month, this is empowerment. Whereas for a woman to conceal her beauty, choose who decides to see her, and control who is allowed access to her, this is called oppression and restriction for her, isn't it? Shaitan's plot to make the world a place where good is seen as evil and evil is seen as good is very evident in this. Now this brings me to the question, what even is hijab? In Islam, hijab is a state of being for men and women. Yes, it's not just for women. Because it's a state of being, it's not just a piece of fabric. It has conditions and requirements. Men and women must abide by hijab in front of others. Obviously, they can show themselves to mahram like family and their spouses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "Say to the believing men that they should cast down their glances and guard their private parts by being chaste. This is better for them. Say to the believing women that they should cast down their glances and guard their private parts by being chaste, and not display their beauty except what is apparent, and they should place their khimar over their bosoms. In Surah 24, verses 30 to 31. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, those who harass believing men and believing women undeservedly bear on themselves a calumny and a gravest sin. O Prophet, enjoin your wives, your daughters, and the wives of true believers that they should cast their outer garments over their persons when abroad. That is most convenient, that they may be distinguished and not be harassed. And Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Surah 33, verse 58 to 59. Now I challenge the Western man and woman watching this to just ask yourself, is it really the worst thing in the world if a believing woman wants to dress the same as Mary or Maryam alayhis salam, that I'm sure you're familiar with, covered and not showing herself off to random strange men? Now, if Christians and Jays go around contradicting their book and don't want to hold on too tightly to their beliefs, why does that now mean that you got to get Muslims to also loosen their grip on their religion? Why does it now mean we got to get Muslims to modernize as well just because y'all have? Especially because we don't want to do that. Now, obviously, a Muslim woman can cover more than what's required out of hijab, because there's a difference in opinion in if niqab, covering the face, is fard or not. I cannot touch on this, nor can I give my personal opinion on this, because I'm not qualified to do so. But what I can tell you is that even the scholars that believe that niqab is not fard, even they agree that it's still better for a woman to cover her face and wear niqab, even if they believe that it's not obligatory. Now this begs the question, is hijab actually oppressive? Especially because some of these comments raised up important questions like, aren't the eyes not for beauty? Don't the eyes help us see, which is a basic human function? As a matter of fact, researchers who conducted this meta-analysis over here wondered the same thing and discovered that eyes account for the largest proportion of facial attractiveness, and that a pair of beautiful eyes leaves a good impression on the people. What's further interesting is another study that concluded these results. Large visible height of the iris, eye-shaped features, and eyebrows contribute to youth, beauty, and attractiveness. Now also bear in mind, this sister in the picture, she's a Muslim, but she's living in the West. There's no Sharia or governmental arbitration in her having to dress this way. So why must you, O colonizer, dehumanize her and force her to have to show herself off to you? To answer this question, we must understand the levels of complexity that influence these Western countries to want to push women to show themselves off. The quest for female objectification. A quick note, make sure you smash that like button in this video if you haven't, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts so that YouTube pushes this video out to more people, and inshallah more people can learn from this. See, SEX sells, whether we want to admit it or not. There have been billions of dollars since the inception of using female beauty to push out products. Studies upon studies to prove how sexual attractiveness triggers primal instincts and emotion. And obviously because buying something is not logical, they give in. As a matter of fact, women drive 70 to 80% of all consumer spending, while men only contribute to 20 to 30%. The makeup industry, which largely profits off of the female insecurity that they created, is set to be a $500 billion industry right now, and is only growing exponentially every single year. It's no surprise that when France themselves invented the bikini, as in the OG scandalous outfit of choice for women to go on the beach, even France at that time got backlash. The bikini, properly speaking, dates from the middle of the 20th century. While it's true that the ancient Romans wore two-piece swim garments, the consensus is that the first bikini as we know today was created by Louis Réard, a French engineer and fashion designer, in 1946. At that time, Réard was working at his mother's lingerie boutique. He created a two-piece bathing suit that showed a lot of skin by the standards of that time. So much so, in fact, that even at that time, no runway model wanted to wear it, subhanAllah, because it seemed too vulgar. So Réard had to search until he found a Parisian casino dancer named Micheline Bernardini, who was 19 years old, for his summer exhibition in 1946. It is also said that she helped choose the name. If you look at European civilization in the 20th century, they were actually very modest. Shaitan pushes the needle inch by inch, slowly, until a woman's haya is corrupted and her fitrah is corrupted to the point where she doesn't have any issue showing herself off like this. Now, what's absolutely pertinent for Muslims is to unite completely and defend our Muslim sisters' honor. My message to this NIQABI sister in the photo is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala empower you and allow you to continue to hold tightly onto the covenant that we have with Allah. May Allah allow you to continue to be an example of how much we have to obey Allah in the West and everywhere else, and not fear ostracization. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you and allow you to make hijrah as safe as possible and as soon as possible. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the journey of hijab very smooth for all women, inshallah, and all men. Because I see you brothers wearing those short shorts in the gym. Come on now, what are you doing? It's a fine line before you start painting your nails too. And if you're a brother watching this, or even a sister, and they're wondering where are these strong Muslims that hold on tightly to the religion of Allah, or do they even exist? I have a solution for you. And my brother launched his own marriage platform called A Muslim Matchmaker. Now, last week I exposed halal dating apps and how un-Islamic they are. I want to let y'all in on this opportunity. This is a 100% halal platform that focuses on traditional men wanting to marry traditional women, breadwinners getting with caretakers, and those that if they want to work, if they have to, or they really want to, it's going to be halal from home, no mixing. Now, last time I spoke to this brother, there were at least 5 times as many sisters on this app as brothers, and 85% of the women were wearing abaya or niqab, Allahumma barik. Teams are segregated and everything is anonymous, and there's no contact between the two teams unless the wali approves first. As a matter of fact, right now, there's a brother that met this sister, Allahumma barik, through my link down below. I believe that he's going to talk to the wali very soon, inshallah, and then plan the wedding. There's no real barrier of entry. Make sure you join down below. And if you made it this far, comment down below #podcast. As you already know, I'm launching a new podcast with one of my closest brothers to talk about marriage, intimacy, divorce, women, masculinity, femininity, and all the topics that I talk about on my channel, but more in depth, professional quality, inshallah. Podcast is going to launch June 1st. So inshallah, I look forward to seeing you guys in a few days for the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.